This is the end. The Lemonade War, chapter 14. What did you think? This is called reconciliation. Reconciliation means the act of bringing together after a difference, as in to reconcile numbers on a balance sheet or having a resolution to a problem. Come on, you two, Mrs. Tresky called upstairs. If we don't go now, there won't be any room on the grass to watch the fireworks. We're coming, shouted Evan, sticking his head out of his room. Jessie was sitting on his bed, and he was trying to get her to go to the fireworks. She had her lockbox on her lap and a mullish look on her face. Just say it's a tie, said Evan. Come on, Jess. This whole thing is so stupid and you know it. It's not a tie unless it's a tie, said Jessie, knowing she sounded like a brat but not able to stop herself. How much have you got? Mom's waiting, said Evan. Put your lockbox away and let's go to the fireworks. How much have you got? Jessie repeated. Evan tensed up his fingers as if they were strangling an invisible ghost. Nothing, okay? I've got nothing. Look. And he turned his pockets out of his shorts inside out. Jessie looked skeptical. You can't have nothing. You must have made something. Well, I had expenses, so I ended up with nothing. Okay, are you happy? You win. Evan sat on the edge of the bed looking at the floor. Jessie felt her heart sink. You spent all of your money on mix for your lemonade on wheels stand? Jessie asked. All of it? Evan nodded. Jessie felt like crawling under the bed and never coming out. It didn't pay off to be good, she whispered. There were a few bugs in the system, thought Evan. That's a joke. Jessie would have loved, he thought. Before the war, now it was just all money and numbers and bad feelings, and there was no room for laughing. Oh, said Jessie. Her voice seemed the size of an ant. She stared down at her lap, the box on her desk. I've got, and she opened the little lockbox, took out the change tray and pushed aside the scraps of paper she had collected and the comment card from Megan. And then she stared. Wait a minute. This isn't my money. She picked up a handful of wrinkled, crunched up bills. Evan lay down on the bed and covered his head with a pillow. Jessie counted the money very quickly. $62.11. This isn't my money. Where did this come from? Emma, said Evan as he mumbled underneath the pillow, and Jessie couldn't understand. What? Said Jessie. Please, that's dumb. Take the pillow away. I can't understand what you're saying. Say it again. And she hit the side of his leg for emphasis. It's my money, he shouted, still through the pillow. It was $103, but then I spent $41 on the lemonade on wheels stand, so now it's just $62. Your money? But where's my money? Evan pulled the pillow away from his face. His eyes were closed. His nose pointed up at the ceiling, and he folded his arms across his chest like a dead man. I took it. Well, give it back, said Jessie, and this time she hit the side of his leg for real. I can't. It's gone. He was as still as a 3-day corpse. Gone? What do you mean gone? Gone where? Jessie was shrieking now. Never in her life had she worked so hard to earn money. Never in her life had she earned more than $100 and had that in her hand. Never in her life had she had a friend who trusted her like Megan had. I don't know where it is. It was in my shorts pocket. And then I played basketball with the guys. And then we went to Jack's house to swim. I took off my shorts. I borrowed a bathing suit. And when I went back to change into my clothes, the money was gone. He sat up and faced his sister. I'm really sorry. I really am. I'm really sorry. In a real war, you fight. You fight with your hands or with weapons. You fight with everything you've got because it's a matter of life and death. Jessie felt the loss of her hard-earned money like a death, and she ripped into Evan with the power of every little morsel that she had in her body. She punched him and she kicked him. She threw her lockbox at him. She wanted to tear him up into little pieces. Evan didn't try to pin her, though it would have been easy to do. Part of him just wanted to lie on the bed and take it all, for the one who started the whole thing by saying, "I hate you," or making Jessie feel so rotten about herself, just because Evan felt rotten about himself, for taking Jessie's money, for losing the money to Scott, just for being so stupid. Evan wanted to take all of Jessie's anger. But Jessie was really going at it. And if he didn't protect himself at least a little bit, he was going to end up in the emergency room. And that would upset his mom. So he kept both of his hands in front of his face, just enough to keep Jessie from gouging out his eyes. But he never once tried to hit her back. He was done with fighting his sister. Finally, Jessie ran out of gas. She just lay down on her bed and tried to make her brain work. Her body was so worn out that her brain felt like it was the only thing that could work. "One of your friends stole my money?" she asked. "I think it was Scott Spencer," said Evan. "He went upstairs to go to the bathroom, and then he came downstairs all in a hurry and said he had to go home. And after that, I went upstairs, and the money was gone." "Oh, he's such a jerk," said Jessie. "The biggest," said Evan. "If he gets an Xbox, I'll know it was him." "That was a lot of money," said Jessie, feeling tears starting to well up in her eyes and run down her face. "It was," said Evan. "I couldn't even believe how much I saw when I saw it. You're really something, you know that? Earning all that money selling lemonade." "Thanks," thought Jessie, though she couldn't say the word just then. "Why'd you do it, Evan? Why'd you do it?" Jessie asked again. She meant, why'd you take the money? And why'd you act so mean? And why'd you start this whole war in the first place? Oh, there were so many questions going through her head. "I was mad at you for putting all the bugs in my lemonade," he said. "Well, I was mad at you for saying that you wanted to pulverize me," she said. "I only did that because you were hanging out with Megan and I totally felt left out." "Well," Jessie replied, "how did you feel when you wouldn't let me hang out with you and that stupid Scott Spencer?" Evan replied, "Well, I was mad at you because... And Jessie looked up and looked at Evan, and Evan looked at the wall. "Because I don't want you in my class this year," he said. "Because I'll embarrass you?" she said solemnly. "Because I'll embarrass myself," said Evan. "I never have the answer right in math, and I read slower than everyone when I read out loud, and I make mistakes. I make them all the time, Jessie. And now, with you in the class, oh, it's going to be worse. They'll all say, 'Wow, he's dumber than his little sister.'" Evan's shoulders slumped and his head hung low with every word. Jessie looked at him. "Evan, you're not dumb," said Jessie. "I know you don't think I am," he said. "And that stinks too, because now you're going to see how dumb I is in school." "You're not dumb," said Jessie again. "You made $103.11 selling lemonade in just 5 days. That's not dumb." "Yeah, but you made $208. You see, you're my little sister. You're twice as smart as me in everything you do." Jessie shook her head. "Half of that money is Megan's. She gave it to me to give to the Animal Rescue League. I only made $104. Evan kind of unslumped. "Really?" Jessie nodded yes. "So you made $104 and I made $103.11, said Jessie. So it really was a tie?" said Evan. "No," said Jessie. "I won by 89 cents. "Oh, but come on. I mean, after all that, it was practically a tie." "No," said Jessie. "It was close, but I really won." "Wow, we pretty much ended in a tie," said Evan. Jessie decided to let it go. For the first time in 4 days, she didn't really care who had won more and who had won less. Besides, she was waiting to see how long it took before Evan figured it out. Not long. Holy crud, he said suddenly. I lost Megan's money too. $104 of Megan's money. Oh, crud. And he threw himself back on the bed and covered his face with both arms. Neither of them said anything then for a long time. Finally, Jessie broke the silence. Evan, I'm really sorry I put bugs in your lemonade. Thanks, said Evan. I'm sorry I took your money and Megan's money. We shouldn't have done any of this, Jessie said, waving her hand at the money on the bed. It ruined the end of our summer. Yeah, the whole summer's been a crud, said Evan. Not the whole summer, just the last 5 days. Remember when we went to Bar Harbor? Remember when we swam at the pond? Jessie couldn't stand Evan thinking that their whole summer had been crud. Yeah, but I think that the last 5 days kind of cancels everything out, said Evan. I can't believe I have to tell Megan Moriarty. She likes you, said Jessie. Evan sat up surprised. Really? Yeah, said Jessie. I don't get it either, but she's always asking what you're doing and if you can play and stuff. Why do you think she does that? Cool, said Evan, smiling. So you guys are becoming friends? Yeah, said Jessie. We're good friends. Okay then, so she'll be coming over here to play and stuff, right? That's cool. You're weird, said Jessie. Yes, I am, said Evan. There was another long silence after that. The late summer night light in the Evans' one window room had faded to black, but neither one of them wanted to turn on a light. It was nice just sitting there, just the two of them, in the cool darkness. An afternoon breeze had kicked itself into a gusty wind, and the shade on the window tapped out a steady beat that was pleasant and reassuring. This war was stupid, you know, said Jessie. Evan nodded in the dark. Just then they heard the sound of thunder booming in the distance. Then more, and then more, and then the whole house shook. The fireworks, shouted Jessie. Oh, snap, shouted Evan. Jessie and Evan raced downstairs, and at the bottom they found their mother sitting on the last step, watching the sky through the sliding screen door. Why didn't you call us? Cried Evan. We're missing the fireworks, said Jessie. Oh, I figured whatever the two of you were talking about was much more important than the fireworks show. Mrs. Tresky turned to look at her kids. Did you guys work it out? Evan and Jessie nodded just as a Roman candle exploded into the night sky. Not a bad seat, said Mrs. Tresky, patting the step. Come and enjoy. For 20 minutes, the night sky was alive with wagon wheels and party-colored Delilahs and whistling glitter palms. Evan, Jessie, and Mrs. Tresky were all sat watching silent, except for the occasional ooh or ah that seemed to escape from their lips, like the air hissing above had blown a tire. When the last of the fireworks boomed and faded, Evan, Jessie, and Mrs. Tresky sat in the darkness waiting. No one said anything for several minutes. And then Jessie whispered, It's over. Yes, it was over. Wait, said Evan. What was that? What? Asked Jessie, straining her ears. Listen. In the distance, a boom and a rattle. More fireworks, said Evan, staring up at the dark sky. Where? I don't see them, said Jessie. And all of a sudden, the sky split in two as lightning sliced the night. An explosion of thunder rolled through the house, rattling the windows and the pictures on the walls. Rain all of a sudden poured out of the sky as if it was a gigantic faucet that had been immediately twisted on. Yow! Shouted Mrs. Tresky, leaping up from the step. Battle stations! Every window in the house was wide open. So Evan and Jessie and Mrs. Tresky ran from the top floor to the bottom floor, shutting every window and sopping up all the puddles. The rain came down with a fury and impatience, as like a 2-year-old having a tantrum. As he closed the window in his room, Evan could hear the gurgle of the gutters choking down the downpour. One thing ends, another begins, said Mrs. Tresky, meeting Evan and Jessie on the stairs. She raised her index finger like a wise philosopher. Fireworks and rainstorms. Jessie raised her finger too. Summer, school. Evan then raised his finger and said, war, peace. Then they laughed because it was silly. The three of them acting like philosophers, standing on the stairs. That night, before she closed her door, Jessie shouted to Evan, who was already in bed, "Hey, I've got an idea about getting Megan's money back." The end. All right, friends. So here are 10 tips for turning lemons into loot by Jessie and Evan Tresky. It says first prize. So this might have been her, that project. Remember how she was making a Labor Day project? Maybe this was the project. Tip number 1, this is location. It all starts with where you put your lemonade stand. Tip number 2, advertising. Make your lemons stand out in a crowd. Tip number 3, underselling. Cheap, cheaper, cheapest lemons in town. Tip number 4, goodwill. How to make people love your lemons. Tip number 5, value added. Giving your lemons something extra. Tip number 6, business regulations. Be sure you know your local lemon laws. Remember that was like the park? Tip number 8, franchises. How 13 lemons can earn you more than one. And then there's a graph. Tip number 9, going mobile. Take your lemons on the road. And tip number 10, employee appreciation. Don't be a sour boss. Always say thank you to your workers. And then on every card or every part of the poster, probably it looks like there was a description about the strategies. Kind of cool. I hope you liked Lemonade War. If you really liked it, check out the Lemonade Crime, which is the sequel. So you've got 2 books. The Lemonade War is an AR quiz for sure. So please take an AR test right away. And also let us know your thoughts, extended thinking, let us know. And then check out the Lemonade Crime this summer. Might be a good summer read. Hope you enjoyed it.